Greetings, Hive fans. Welcome to the second live stream today. First one this morning was very exciting, although it ended on a bad note because I had internet issues. I have to go back and watch the video to see how that affected things. But it was right down to the nitty-gritty at the very end, and Stepanzo made an error, allowing AE Norman 43 to win his second game. It was stressful for me because I was under a lot of pressure with the internet coming and going. Hopefully this afternoon we won't have that same issue today. We're in the lobby right now. We're waiting for the two combatants to come in. It'll be InDusDus and Dudders. This is InDusDus won his group. He won Group H. And Dudders finished second in the group with Fresco 92 in it. So it should be fairly exciting playing today. And Stepanzo over at Discord did another poll to see who people thought was going to win each of these matches. And it's very interesting because there's a group of matches that were almost unanimous. Judoka 18 out of 19 picked him to beat Louise. 18 and 19 picked Quad Lebet to beat Hive 2. 18 and 19 picked KP3 to beat Wawoot, who was a new player in his first tournament. And 17 out of 19 picked Happy Kiwi to beat P. Capella. P. Capella is also new to the tournament, and he was the only one of the qualifiers that did not start off seeded 1 or 2. He was the 4th seed in Group A, along with Judoka. There were a couple that Yandak had 15 out of 19, and Stepanzo 13 out of 19 choices for winning those matches. And then there were two fairly close toss-ups. This is one of the toss-ups. InDusDus was chosen by 10 out of 19, and Frasco 92 was chosen at 10 out of 19 against SP Fish. So Dudders has joined the lobby. We're just waiting for InDusDus. I see some Lazi 55-55-5, part of the Hungarian Hive Club. He's here to cheer on his friend and fellow Hungarian Hiver. It looks like they might be going into tournament room 4. Dudders is setting up. Dudders, it looks like, is playing black in game 1. So it should be very interesting Hive playing today. And of course, here is the spreadsheet that I have set up with the single elimination matches. And as you can see, there's already 2 entries. The 1-1 match tied between Frasco 92 and SP Fish, and AE Norman won both games earlier today. And if you haven't already checked it out, check out I'm doing brief 1.5 to 2.5 to 3 minute game reviews without comment I'm doing, of course, at Board Space, and then recording them, so you may want to check those links out as well. So we're in the lobby, we're waiting. We have about 2 minutes yet, and remember, there is a 3-minute delay. So if you send me a text, send me a chat, it'll be 3 minutes before it shows up on the screen. But so I sometimes will answer verbally, and you won't get that answer for 3 minutes. If I have a chance and can type in the chat, then you'll get it immediately. So for example, right now, I'm just noticing that it's now showing the pie graphs that Stepanzo had set up. Okay, both combatants are in the room, so let's go ahead and get the review room open. I've been working on this, so hopefully what I may do is I may not open the review room until it's 20 plus 20. So they are, let me just chat over here. 20 plus 20. I'll send that chat over to them in the lobby. And they are about ready to start. Okay, they're about ready to go. Third match of this round of 16. Okay, I think we are up. Let's see, let me just get out of studio mode. I'm going to try very hard to get lots of moves coming in, so I'm going to try to get caught up. InDusDus played an interesting opening. Neither player played the queen until turn 4. But they did both end up playing a Z queen configuration. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Interesting. Look at the very similar setups here. IR10. Lots of ants coming out at the very beginning. So we had 2 very exciting games this morning. Both games, A.E. Norman was on the aggressive, attacking side. And his attack in game 2 fizzled out, but sadly, Stepan made a blunder, and the Lone Badger is joining us. Greetings, Lone Badger. I think what I need to do is I need to turn on the sound so I can hear when they And of course, if you haven't already checked it out, check out my little 2-minute videos from uh, game replays without comments, and let me know what you think about that. Also, let me know if you like the music that's being played. Uh, it almost cost me monetization because YouTube didn't recognize it as coming from the free source that it was coming from. So we don't need to track the mice. Okay, Ordep Kubik has joined as a spectator. I saw he was in a review room earlier, probably doing another video. If you speak Spanish, it would be uh, a good YouTube channel to subscribe to. Vinny Tupuds has joined. I'm going to see if I can turn the volume down on this. Okay, much better. So I can hear the click in my headphones, so I know that they've made a move. So InDusDus pins the black mosquito. Of course, the black mosquito in this situation has pill bug power. So at any given time, it can warp the ant to one side and then immediately gain ant movement. And of course, that ant move has left a beetle factory. And it could be an instant double beetle because the mosquito could gain beetle power also. So is Dudders going to take this opportunity to bring in another ant, risking it getting pinned by the mosquito? That's probably the most likely thing to do. As long as your opponent has a mosquito with ant power, it's very difficult to bring in a beetle because it can immediately get pinned by that mosquito. And the game earlier today with Stepanzo and A.E. Norman really showed that qualification for the win is necessary, but not sufficient because A.E. Norman qualified for the win very early, but Stepanzo defended exceptionally well right up until the big blunder. Now is InDusDus going to bring in a bring in a beetle in the beetle factory, or bring in another ant? The grasshopper could jump to here, which would then free the mosquito, or it could jump to here, which would free the white ladybug. But if the white ladybug moves away, it does a couple different things. One is it's no longer, uh, well, it could move to there and it would still be a beetle at a pin-proof spawn point. Someone just joined the lobby. Guest 1472. R10 and the Lone Badger have both said hello in the chat room. Make sure you drop a chat in there. Let me know who you are. If were you able to watch the live stream this morning? There's another match being played in about 3 hours, but I probably won't be available to live stream that one. Black doesn't have any ants out except for the one. So if white ant 3 comes in, there's no immediate way to pin it. And starting off with 20 minutes, there's not a time rush right now. InDusDus is in a think. And it was a very exciting conclusion to the round robin section. A.E. Norman and Apollo Q went right down to the wire to determine that group. And in fact, A.E. Norman got a draw with Quadlibet, four-time world champion Quadlibet. And so they went to the last tiebreak, which meant that, okay, here we go. We've got to quit talking. So he used the beetle factory, bring in a beetle, going to bring in the second beetle. So like I said, Quadlibet and A.E. Norman were dead even. They both finished with 2.5 points, 2.5 match points. Their match between them was tied 2-2. And each of the matches, the match against Apollo Q and the match against me, were exactly the same score. 2.5 to 1.5 over Apollo Q and 3 to 1 over me. Okay, now what is Dudders going to do here? The black mosquito could go out and pin the white ant. It could attack, threatening to separate the pill bug from the queen. The only way that could keep that from, well, let's see, is could white stop this? Yes, white could move the queen away there. But then black could warp the pill bug away, leaving a string of white bugs. See me looking over this direction, my big monitor is over here. That allows me to keep an eye on things. Dudders picked up the spider. One thing is he wants to leave the black mosquito there, because as the white beetle moves forward, the black mosquito would be able to cover it before it gets into qualification position. So he could bring an ant in. You don't want to allow it to get power pinned to your queen, so the only logical places for the ant would be here or here. If you place it here, it blocks in the mosquito. The mosquito can get out with ladybug power or by being warped out, but then loses its ant mobility. And it looked like he was toying with the idea of bringing in the spider, which would then be able to pin either the ant or the mosquito. The matches in this first round, the round of 16, are 4-game matches. So InDusDus is playing white in the first game. Then we'll play black in the next two, and then white in game 4. Okay, he brought in the spider. He could invest the tempo by stopping the spider now, because if he moves the ant anywhere else, the spider could then come over and pin the mosquito. Of course, the first opportunity, the white mosquito with no bug power could warp the spider away and then move out, but he elected to go ahead and pin it with the ant. Okay, the Lone Badger said, I really enjoy your live streams and still learned a lot from it. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Nice to know. The quality of play around the world has drastically improved over the last few years as more and more really, really good players get involved in it. And if you haven't noticed it over at Board Game Geek and on Discord, I've got a poll going on asking the question, would you attend Gen Con 2024 if there were a North American live in-person Hive Championship? So Dudders is again in the same situation as before. If he brings in an ant, you got to make sure he doesn't bring it in where it can immediately get pinned. Well, it will immediately get pinned if that's what InDusDus wants to do. Although InDusDus may be looking to use the beetle factory to get a second beetle in. I would love to hear what's going through the mind of these players as they're studying these situations. Okay, again, threatening the mosquito or the ant. Now, White could actually sacrifice his ant to tie up both of those spiders. But let's go back a ways. The plan here that Black implemented, bringing the spider in there, would have an angle of attack to pin the mosquito. If White had pinned there, then wouldn't have had that. If the spider would have come in over there. Go and take a look at the game 2 between Stepanzo and A.E. Norman. You want to see how important an location of a pin is, because uh, I believe it was a mosquito. Stepanzo's white mosquito got pinned by a grasshopper, where if it had initially set the pin at a different location, the grasshopper would not have been able to do it. And at the point when the grasshopper spawned and then pinned the mosquito, he did not have the tempo that available to shift it over one spot. So you either have to have an intuitiveness to know where to pin it, or you really have to do a lot of study and know how to track down those moves far in advance. So an interesting ploy for White could be, if the mosquito goes to there and then climbs up, the black mosquito does not gain beetle power. And of course, black does not currently have an ant available to pin that mosquito. And I've had discussion with the Hive committee, of which I'm a member, to make sure that everybody is okay with me live streaming with a 3-minute delay. I need to check. I have a new computer. I might be able to do a longer delay than that, because we don't want the players to listen in on my live stream. They may get some ideas. Not that I'm not of the same caliber as these 16 players, but you never know. So if the mosquito goes to there, the black mosquito could pin it, but then the black mosquito would lose all mobility. Interesting. Running a grasshopper, which could continue giving him giving InDusDus the edge in the ant game. The spider can't stop it from releasing the ant. And because the mosquito currently has ant power, then there's still a white piece available to pin a black ant if it comes in. So if the black spider pins the mosquito, it also shuts down the beetle factory. But at any given instant, the mosquito can then warp the spider away. You have to believe he's going to go ahead and pin the mosquito. And of course, very quickly, InDusDus performs the pin replacement. So black brings in a beetle, and then white can, as we talked about earlier, warp the spider away. Interesting because that frees either the ant or the mosquito. And of course, if the mosquito is allowed to pin the black beetle, it can climb up without giving beetle power to the mosquito. Using ladybug power, jumping to there, black may be the first one qualifying for the win. The If the ladybug does attack, that does give a spawn point for white beetle. The problem from black standpoint right now is that white has the equivalent of two mobile ants, either two mobile ants or an ant and a mosquito. Now that's a very interesting concept there, is spawning the ant there That becomes 2 mobile ants, and white can pin one, but one of the black ants is going to be free. Roxar just joined in the lobby, from the lobby into the board space room, and InDusDus begins his attack. Or maybe he doesn't. He just looked at it. Is there a way, if white plays that beetle, is there a way to keep it from... Oh, it's the only beetle left. But if black ends the beetle, then the mosquito comes in. If I don't think there's any way that black can stop white, okay, he looked at both options and chose the southerly one. The black can pin the beetle, but then the mosquito is coming in. So if he pins the beetle, mosquito can get in and climb up. And notice black does not have any good spawn points. But if you're going to pin the beetle, do you want to pin it with this ant or this ant? I would think it would be this ant, because the mosquito is going to more than likely move next, and it'll leave this white ant pinned. If this ant moves, the mosquito stays pinned. It also stays pinned in an elbow, which is interesting. Hour 50 is joined as a spectator at board space. Okay, so black has pinned the beetle. And although it's not a basic anti-spawn defense, with the white beetle covering the black mosquito, it is a type of anti-spawn defense, with the added benefit that if the black beetle moves forward, the white beetle underneath it can cover the ladybug. I don't think that white has anything better to do than to move the mosquito to there. Okay, that's interesting. Guess he doesn't feel the need to hurry. Oh, that is very interesting. I mean, very conservatively, if that's what he ends up doing. And that's what he did. Interesting. So white is down to 2 grasshoppers and 2 spiders. Black is down to 2 grasshoppers and a beetle. So the grasshopper there, if the grasshopper jumps to there and the ladybug moves, then it takes away the direct bridge across to the queen. So the white beetle would have a more indirect or less direct method. Of course, you always ask, why did that bug go to there? And of course, that bug went to there so that it could get warped to there and free the ant. Now the mosquito, the white mosquito, cannot come into here because then the queen would warp it out. Interesting. He's definitely playing defense here. Okay, now we see InDusDus's plan to qualify for the win. Fighter placed here will be able to move into that spot. Wow, these players obviously have things in mind that I'm not familiar with because he attacks with the ant. Only thing I can imagine is because that would stop that as a spawn point. I don't know. Yes, now I understand. He doesn't want to let the beetle spawn there, so that's the reason. And he still has an ant free, so if the beetle comes in somewhere, he can pin it. Oh, excuse me. Let's see, running on 40 minutes. Interesting to see if this is another 2 hour. They play 2 games today. So neither player has qualified for the win yet. Dudders can advance forward if he wants to. I guess theoretically, white has enough bugs to flood the pill bug. Interesting. I have no idea why he would be contemplating that move. That's interesting. Gave up the pin on the beetle, allowing the beetle to move forward. Is there any reason to do anything other than climb up? So, yeah, I don't see any reason why not to. Climbing up, then covering the queen. And then you should be able to get both of those grasshoppers into. If the pill bug moves away when the beetle moves over, then you've got a direct drop spot. Good place for a spider, beetle, spider, do a direct drop. Okay, freeing another ant. And you may wonder, why in the world would you do that? It's because when the beetle covers the queen, then you've got a direct drop spot. I don't think that you have the tempo, because if you do that, yeah, okay, let's. Oh, interesting. Moving the ant. There's the fallacy of moving the ant that allowed the second black beetle in. Henry Robertson says, thanks for the coverage. Been having a blast watching these. Thank you, Henry. But black has no more bugs in reserve. So I don't think black has much chance of winning this. Let's see. So why did he place the spider there? If he wanted to warp it to there, he could have just placed it there. Can he make the ring? That provide any benefit? Yes, because then the spider can pin the ant. think it'd be a mistake on Dudders' part to separate the pill bug. That was the plan. Get the spider to there, pin the black ant, and the white ant is free. Both players moving very quickly now. InDusDus is at 4 minutes, Dudders at 4:45, and sure enough, the ring has released the spider to pin the ant. So InDusDus is definitely playing control. So the black pill bug moves out to there. The white ladybug moves into there. Now, can white get those two grasshoppers? He's got to get 2 grasshoppers. Yeah, I don't. This might be. I could be mistaken. Okay, he's looking at the possibility. He's looking to do a pin replacement. Yes, InDusDus is definitely playing for control. Looking at okay, the grasshopper jumps to there. That ant is not free. Okay, so InDusDus is playing fairly quickly. They're down both under 4 minutes. Yep, InDusDus is definitely playing for control here. And does the black queen escape? I know that's very interesting. Black warped the white ant out, and now, of course, the black pillbug can go to there. Oh, he warps the ant out. Interesting. Okay. Well, nice play by InDusDus because he's got 2 top of hive bugs. All he's got to do is get one of his bugs into one of these 3 kill spots. He's got an ant and a grasshopper. So okay. Yep. Very good end game for InDusDus. Black's only defense is to cover the mosquito, use the mosquito. Dudders said, I forgot that you had a hopper left. Yep, it's over. Grasshopper, grasshopper is threatening. Grasshopper. Well, it's interesting. InDusDus says, yeah, luckily it's in the right place, but that's not necessarily luck. That's hive skill. Yep, the 2 white bugs atop the hive. If the black mosquito doesn't climb up, the grasshopper takes the setup shot, and and the beetle comes down. If the ant pins the grasshopper, then this white beetle takes the setup shot, and this white beetle takes the kill shot. So game 1 to InDusDus, and it'll be interesting to see if they play game 2 today or not. I'll turn on click the button for message room. Yep. Okay, so game 1. Game 1 went to InDusDus. And he's asking one more question mark, so let's see what the answer is. He said sure. So I'm going to close this. We're going to take a break. Close that. Open the other review room. Get the lobby back open again. Now let's see what I'm going to do is get studio mode going. Okay, so game 1 went to InDusDus. And it was an interesting one. So they'll be playing game 2 here shortly. So we'll be watching. There's quite a crowd in the. Let's see. There must be another game going on. Let's take a quick look. Tournament game between Ratcatcher and Vinny Two Puds. That is in the Rapid tournament. So I opened two review rooms. So it's easier to get the review going, but I'm still fiddly with the playrooms. Go back to see what's going on back in Spectator. Nope. That's interesting. I just learned something. I can't shut the game selector window down. Okay, the review room is set up, so let's see if we can get once they get started, I made the mistake of one day thinking I could see when they were entered a room and I missed it. So we'll try to keep an eye on. So let's look at a few other things here while we're waiting. So we can go to here and let's go up here and add a 1 there and a 0 there for the results of the first game. So the winner of this match has the privilege of playing either Judoka or Louise in the quarterfinals. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out there as well. So we'll try to keep an eye out for Lacey and Dudders, where they're going, for InDusDus and Dudders. Quite a crowd in the room in the inboard space today. Frasco, Mir Mickey, Roxars, SP Fish, Dudders, InDusDus, Lassie 55555, AE Norman, Tower 50, Ratcatcher, Seer, Vinny Two Puds, Zolty 866, all Hive players. So hopefully I'll make a note to and I have been, let's see, most of you have probably heard this message already, but I am doing these 1.5 to 2.5, 3 minute videos, replay without commentary. So far I've posted all 4 games that have been played. I look forward to doing enough of you watch them and get comments about them. I'll keep doing that. Doesn't take but a few minutes. They're going to be playing in room 2. Okay. Very good. Let me say thank you to InDusDus. Thank you. Because one day I was sitting talking and watching what I thought was the room they were going to be in. They ended up being in a different room, and I never got into that room in time. So they were already playing. Okay, they're going to be starting. Let me turn the lobby off. Okay, I think we're up and going. The transition here. So Dudders opened with a pill bug. Interesting. And the queen in line. InDusDus plays the queen and elbow. And your very typical anti-spawn defense. So they're both playing white's playing fairly quickly here, so must have something up his sleeve. Okay, let me get some options set. Use text, and we don't need to see the track mice. I do want to hear sound. Okay, Frasco's joined as a spectator as well. Okay, we're up and going. Typical anti-spawn defense for black. White started with a hook triple, turned it into a diamond, and he's got two bugs, the mosquito and the ant, available. So black brings in an ant. Now, question will be, will white? Nope, he goes ahead and pins it. He did that very quickly. And white brought in another ant. So those all happened very, very quickly. And it's interesting to see because 20 minutes plus 20, they were both at over 20 there for a bit. And the spectators start showing up. The Hive community has sure grown a lot since in the last 10 years with the Discord channel and Facebook page and Frasco with his YouTube channel, Pedro Ordep Kubik with his YouTube channel. Yeah, I think we want to see more game, less. But 8 people watching at board space. So Aaron Bernal says, was a bit late for the first game. Glad I can catch the other though. Thank you for joining, Aaron. If Henry or if you're still around, make sure you let me know where you're from. Double bidirectional pin on the ladybug is not always a great thing. We'll see. Will white pin that ant? And he did. And he pinned it as an elbow pin. Stop this being a spawn point. Now, if in fact the mosquito does go out there, it'll stop any chance that Dudders has of doing an anti-spawn defense. But it would give white a distinct advantage in the ant game because that black mosquito currently has ant power, but when it moves away, it won't. You could go here and produce a pin-proof spawn point there. Looks like you looked briefly at placing the ant here. It's always dangerous when you allow your opponent to get a power pin on an ant. And of course, if the black ant does go there, at any instant, the black ant can be warped in and the mosquito gains ant power. So he's looking at where it's going. Okay, he places it there. I could immobilize the third ant by pinning it. That would be one thing to look at. Why did I had another glitch with OBS? That's interesting. I wonder why that was. Okay, Dudders played a grasshopper. Interesting. Now he's threatening to pin the ant with the grasshopper. I wonder if he's trying to force the black ant away. What if he goes to there? That would seem like way the less likely thing to do would be to put another bug in the line of fire of that grasshopper. If he moved out, I'm guessing that that grasshopper was there. Okay, the mosquito jumps to there. One of, one of those rare instances where the what mosquito ends up getting trapped. Oh, let's look at another possibility. What if, the mosquito goes to there, right? The ant. I was thinking about possibility of trying to open up a spot for the beetle to spawn, but white just sacrifices that ant to keep that from happening. Okay, the grasshopper comes in there. So if white, oh, interesting. That would be an interesting move. You always have to keep that in mind because warping the ant into there would force some sort of a reply. If black warped the queen out, immediately gets pinned. And InDusDus played that one very quickly. as did Dudders, keeping that black ant pinned against its own queen. So is he going to attack or defend? Very complex situation here. You get these mosquitoes, pill bugs all involved. Okay, he decided to move the mosquito to there. The white beetle comes in, black mosquito can immediately pin it. He let it come in, warped out the ant. All of a sudden, it was all packed in there, and it just spread out real quick. And of course, if the mosquito does go there, the white mosquito could do that. That's what he did. So now there's only one white beetle left. It could come in there or come in there. Either one could then move to there. Black has two beetles. bit surprised by that. So white still has to, Dudders still has to worry about getting the beetle up because black has one up and headed in. Unless white gets a bug to there, the black beetle will be immediately covered when it advances. Like the only way the white could do it would be to, okay, now that's interesting. If the black beetle, now if the black beetle moves ahead, white grasshopper can jump, and if the black beetle moves out, it gets covered, although it does allow him to qualify for the win. Black could bring the beetle in there. It's pin proof. That's what he does. If he's looking at doing it, he did it. The only route black can take, keep from keep from being pinned, is up and over the queen. It moves there, the pill bug moves away. Black has a lot better. Now, if white in fact does that, black, yeah, black needs to cover the beetle. Now black can semi-anchor down that beetle underneath there. He elects to just continue moving forward with his beetle. Maybe. Ready to anchor the queen down. Looks like running into the horns of the bull there. If it moves into there, around it, but there's no easy way for black to keep that queen pinned there. You could set up a type of anti-spawn defense by placing a grasshopper, then would mean that that spider would be an elbow pin on that grasshopper. And instead of doing that, he intercepted the pin replacement. White has an unconventionally positioned anti-spawn defense. And right now, if black can move the beetle, white would be setting up a X trap for black. Okay, anchoring down. Anchoring down that bug out there, which was a mosquito. And now the white mosquito can move forward. Black is both players moving very quickly. I think you want to leave the grasshopper there because if the mosquito moves, you keep the beetle free. White still has one beetle in reserve, but is he going to have enough bugs to attack with? White pretty much has the black ants under control. That would be interesting. I would think that white would want to keep that beetle available to cover the pillbug or queen and qualify. Or to there. White definitely doesn't want to leave the spider here for too long. Like I said, we don't set up the hex trap for the opponent. You're looking to, okay, if the grasshopper jumps over to there, the white spider keeps that ant pinned. I would be surprised at that because, again, like I mentioned, this elbow allows that beetle underneath there to be free. I'm missing something here. Okay. White spider to there. Very interesting. This is make sure my review room is up to date. I believe it is. So black is going to be running out of moves here very soon. Don't think there's any additional opportunities for freeing an ant. So if the black grasshopper goes to there, there's no reason why white would want to move this grasshopper away. Time's not an issue yet. Dudders at 15, 14 and 45 and counting, and our Dudders InDusDus is at 7:30 and counting. Okay, now why would the spider be going there? Yes, he asked that same question and decided against it. Like I said, I would be very surprised. Oh, he did. He did play that. Okay, now the black spider goes there. Okay, he's looking. Okay, black fought hard to free that ant. Had to sacrifice a couple bugs to do it. I was very surprised that Dudders didn't, while he had a white bug in this spot here, move forward with the mosquito, because that would keep a. And black has gotten the ant free. Even if the ladybug goes there, black can warp the grasshopper away. Maybe he's looking at an opportunity of flooding the pill bug, but he doesn't have a bug available to take the kill shot if the black queen gets warped out to there. And once the black queen gets warped out to there, it frees up a couple of black bugs, and black is home free again. That was a quick response by Dudders. Now that might be enough because now white does have an. Oh, no, he elected not to do that. That's interesting. Yeah, that now would. Oh, no, the queen gets warped away and the beetle gets pinned. That's right. Because white hasn't qualified for the win, black can just warp the queen away at any time. Very complex situation here. I don't think I've ever seen anybody move their pieces around as much. Of course, the threat is that the white mosquito jumps into here and then climbs up. I would think, I mean, black grasshopper there stops that because when it goes to there, the black ladybug moves. Okay, he moved right over there where the mosquito was going. And InDusDus tries these moves and sets them on the board. So I'm not going to say much at all. Okay. Well, I don't know. Let's see. This is getting Now it might be Dudders that's going to be squeezed here. I don't think there's anywhere white can come up with 4 bugs and black. I don't know. I think it's a draw. I don't think either player can come up with enough bugs to win. Black has the ant that can move around. Although the Oreo stacks might be able to move forward. Okay, make sure I'm caught up here because they've been moving fairly quickly. White could, in theory, Keto to there and the black ant. Then the Oreo stacks you can move forward and get covered. Then white would have to. Now, why did he release the pin on the black ant? Shift the ant over so the white fighter can't pin it. I need to wait till they make the move. I might be mistaken, but I don't think either player can advance. So Pedro says black can win. Yeah. White has that mosquito out here. Black needs to take advantage of this opportunity to move the black beetle forward. And he didn't. Okay, it looks like InDusDus might have a plan. Does he? Well, one thing about the Oreo stack is if you can shut your opponent out, which is that's what InDusDus is going for. So Ordep Pedro says that black can win. Can he? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, black looks like he has a plan. Now, one problem is that black doesn't have an easy way. Okay, there we go. Nope, that frees the white beetle. It'll be a good in-game study. Okay. White can only move the ladybug or the beetle. Black doesn't have any good ways to waste a move. If it was oops. If it were a queen out here, I mean an ant out here that can just move around back and forth, could triangulate, but fighter 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Nope. Okay, can the black beetle go out there? Cover the mosquito. Well, this is a very complex in-game situation. So Pedro, do you still think black can win? All these quick moves, we're adding 20 seconds each time. They're not going to run into. Okay, that ends the. No, he decided not to do that. So maybe let's see. 1, 2, if the ant goes out here, I don't know. I think the key's got to be the beetle's got to go out there and cover the mosquito and free these 2 bugs up. You can trade the beetle for those 2 bugs. Okay, this is going to be one for Pedro's YouTube channel. Is he going to be able to show us how this can be won? The thing about it is that if the black beetle moves out here, then the white ladybug, the grasshopper can trade for the ladybug, which takes the bug out of the kill spot. Pedro says he saw an option. Okay, let's ignore what they're doing for a minute. Let's look at yeah, I don't think it's okay. Now, Like grasshopper frees that ant, so that's not a good thing. Might be better. Too late now. It might have been better to move the spider. Of course, the threat is for the grasshopper to go to there. Now, what if the spider goes to there and then the grasshopper to there? InDusDus only has less than 4 minutes to go, so white has too many ants. Okay, there is a, if this grasshopper jumps to there and you can warp this grasshopper to here, jump that grasshopper to there, might free the ladybug. Okay, yep, he self-pins the grasshopper so it can't. The threat, of course, is the grass. No, he clicks on these over and over again, so you can't let the ladybug out. Oh, yes. Now the ladybug jumps out and then the grasshopper jumps in. Very well played, InDusDus. So that move forces the ladybug to jump. Oh, interesting. Ladybug goes to there. Yep, and it's a re-indexing. If this ant gets, okay, so okay, black goes to there. Well, Fresco says, Ad Abstra says, or maybe not. You're right. Uh, yeah, that was the mistake. Freeing this ant to shift to there. Wow, that happened. That happened quick. Wow, it came right down to the very, very end. Congratulations. Okay. So what a day for Hive. InDusDus came back from that one. Or Dep Kubek, that's Pedro, said that he thought black could win, and black did end up winning. But I think it might have been a mistake at the end. I have to remember the re-indexing. When that ant re-indexed, then that that was all she wrote. So, been a busy Hive day. There's another match coming up in about 30 minutes, but there's no way I'm going to stream that. So I will see you all later. Let's do a couple quick things here. And as always, 3 books down below. Canon of Hive Groundwork down below. Most all of you are very familiar with them. And of course, if you'd like to help support my channel financially, you can go to my Buy Me a Coffee page. There's a link down below. Make a small cash contribution. I would appreciate it. Been a very, very, very busy Hive day here on Saturday, September 2nd, the first Saturday of the knockout rounds of the 2023 Hive Online World Championship. We've had 4 great games today. Congratulations to InDusDus and to AE Norman. Both won 2 games today. So, as always, I'm here helping you play Hive like a champion. Until next time, this is Randy Ingersoll signing off.